There is no scenario where we approve a platform that has Steven Crowder, Alex Jones, or the like. The content of your platform is non-compliant.
The same people who have been saying that YouTube is a free and open platform are telling you right now, we will not allow you to be a free and open platform. Why? Because it's not about their advertising dollars. It's about you. They demonetize us. That didn't work. Suspend us after the election stream. Suspend us for the next election. Suspend us now. That didn't work. We survived because of you. We had 17 million people who watched the election stream in 2020. You were here with us. The people in charge of 90% of the world's advertising revenue say, well, hold on, what's going on? They're doing I thought you took them off YouTube. They're doing okay off of YouTube? Let's stop that too. And all of this right before the most important election of our lifetimes. Think that's a coincidence? How are you going to stand against the mob? How are you going to fight like hell? Between now and election, it's a sprint. Not just for a national election, it's a sprint for the spirit of this country and your ability to choose what you watch, who you support, and the mere ability to speak. This season is war. What we did in 2020 is child's play compared to what we are about to do this election. We already have on the ground in major swing states and cities and what they are digging up right now before this election. And they will be there on election night with an army of volunteers and investigative journalists and more access to data in real time than anybody else on earth. Fact check him. We have a DNC chairperson to fact check, and let me lead this with he one time called Donald Trump Hitler.
Hitler was duly elected.
And then you wonder why people think you're the enemy of the people.
Yeah, the media has already got the marching orders. Anytime there's questions, go with the race thing.
Misogynoir.
Racism and sexism. Is it just because she's black?
Yes, misogyny and racism faced by black women.
The problem is the media entertainment industrial establishment, okay? It's the big steal. It's the stealing of the election in front of the American people on every single level. Conservatives out there, hey, don't let us be the only ones getting suspended after election night. Let's go on YouTube. Come on, everyone. If you want to see that, you want to be here with us, there's no reason to tune in anywhere else that night. The election live stream of the century. Imagine dominoes falling in every state with corruption. The election live stream of the century, November 5th, 2024. Be there with us. Fight like hell.
The next president was almost killed.
Glad to be with you. This is part of the election season. We told you every single special event that takes place, we will be here with you so that you don't feel so alone, because I know a lot of you do. And hey, put that toaster down, you in the bathtub right now. There's a lot to be happy about. It's the Donald Trump town hall. Right now, we're going to be watching Fox News. We are going to be doing the drinking game along with you. So here are the rules tonight for the town hall. Drinking game rules.
Trump uses a nickname.
You drink anytime Trump uses a nickname. You drink anytime Hannity talks too much. Oh boy. Anytime Donald Trump, Hannity, or the audience laughs. You take a drink anytime Trump calls out the fake news media. And you finish your drink anytime someone mentions Kamala refusing to bake.
Come on.
This is...
Hope you have a lot of cool beers, Josh, wrote those rules.
And
I like to drink.
Hey,
You're an alcoholic, Josh. Just call it that.
Bring that up in the lower third so people know that we're watching. It's the hashtag Trump Town Hall. And yep, you can join Mug Club. Tomorrow we have a Mug Club Undercover special. I can't reveal too much, but look, the theme tonight, before we get into this, nothing is real. Okay? Nothing is real. The polls that you were fed are not real. The prosecutions, the indictments against Donald Trump are not real. And unfortunately, a lot of the commentators and hosts who you watch are also not real. We'll get into Russian propaganda in a little bit. Also, ratings aren't real because I don't know if you know this, but Brian Stelter's back. We'll get into that in just a second.
I already had great.
All right. Well, we weren't going to run that right away. Sorry, Tim. I messed you up. But it's fitting because no one is happier about this than me. And by the way, when I say nothing is real, please comment below because there's something going on with Stelter. That man was not fired. That is an arrangement. He has an Epstein client list, something like that. You don't get to be overweight, untalented, unlikable, closeted homosexual, and receive the worst ratings ever in your time slot, remain gainfully employed, fired for 2 years in which you go to Harvard and become a senior fellow, whatever the hell that is, and then come back. It makes no sense. The media is a house of cards. All right. Next to me, of course, is I'm hearing them out there. Guys, they're already partying out there in the mission control. We need to draw a curtain.
Baby.
Right here, Josh Firestein. How are you, sir?
I'm excellent.
Yep.
I'm excellent. Ready to drink. Ready to
Want to make sure. September 20th, you're going to be at Film Alley in Terrell, Texas.
Yeah. It's a little town. It's going to be fun. It's a bowling alley, arcade. It's a whole thing.
Wow.
That's what I play.
Bowling alleys.
Bowling alleys and food truck parks.
I did a laundromat once.
Oh, nice.
In Dallas, Texas. It was called Bar of Soap. Someone threw a piece of soap at me, and my father said he had never been prouder of me because I ate crap and I did it with a smile. That's the open mic
wash your
circuit.
mouth out.
Yeah.
Did they pay you in quarters?
No, I was complete. I didn't work blue. And we have Captain Morgan, CEO. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. How's your shoulder?
Why are you doing that?
I'm asking. I care. You said your shoulder.
You just gotten over it.
Hey, come on.
All right. Let's
You look
talk
nice
about
and tan. You're good.
We're going to get into our predictions here for tonight, the town hall. And by the way, I know this isn't a debate, so we are going to punch out as often as we need to. We're going to allow this to take place because you want to hear from Donald Trump, not us, all night. But we do have later on a 7+1 things that Brian Stelter was doing while he was on vacation. We're going to talk a little bit about, Liz Cheney's endorsement. We're going to talk about the recent polls, very interesting post-DNC convention bounce. Hint, there is none. And yeah, Russiagate is back. Of course, it's not true, but there is unfortunately some truth to people taking money directly from Russia and lying about it online. Now, it's not the people who you've been told by the media. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, but it is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a loose.
What else?
I was going to say just one note really quickly for people who are in Mug Club right now. There's a black screen on locals. We're getting that fixed right now, so you'll be able to log on locals.
The black dot.
It's just on Chrome, I believe.
Yeah, it may be just like a Chrome issue, so we're working on it. Just
Cab's
FYI.
coming.
Google
Nice.
He
CB4.
said it
Nice.
just as Kevin Hart came on screen.
Can't get freedom from Chase.
That was a great film.
Be ready to cue this up really quick, just because we're going to have some fun. Again, Brian Stelter, of course, we did a closing time. We've had our fun with Brian Stelter. He was fired, and so we decided,
We thought it was the end.
We thought it was the end, but now I can tell you that he is back at CNN.
Return of the fight. He's getting the sights, now he's back. He ain't straight. Return of the fight. Return of the slack.
All right.
I'm just noticing his shirt was open.
That was worth running to.
So just to be clear, why do you think he's back for anything on CNN? Okay, he was the host of Reliable Sources. He's replacing Oliver Darcy as author of Newsletter. It's just like, I didn't know.
Wait,
forgive me, kids.
What picture is that of Brian freaking Stelter? Like 30 years ago?
He's thin.
I don't know.
Just as
Maybe he's
penis-y.
doing an ad for Ozempic now.
Yeah.
He replaced Oliver Darcy now as the author of the Newsletter. I didn't know that, like, an asshole could swallow an asshole.
It happened. It's the inception of
The replacement of Oliver
That's
Darcy.
a double lapse.
Yeah, it really.
It's a different.
Well, they're certainly not pros.
They're not pros.
No.
The show had a 4.5, his show on CNN, out of 10 rating on IMDb. And here's the thing. Why bring the guy back who averaged 76,000 viewers in the demo on his show? 76,000 viewers. That's lower than we'll have watching live tonight.
That's pretty bad.
Yes.
In the demo, the coveted demo. Okay.
In the coveted demographic.
He also got a rating of 2 inches on Grinder, and that was from his wife.
No, his super hot wife. Super hot wife. You always
Hot
have to
bod,
say it that
super
way,
hot
yeah.
bod.
I didn't realize that Mike Lindell is still doing commercials on Fox News.
He
Oh,
is.
yeah.
They should just
Yeah.
run his
Wow.
deposition. Let's see this really quickly.
Mustache looks nice.
First time ever.
My sandals. Now we got my sandals made in Egypt. You're gonna love my sandals. If you don't, you're an asshole.
By the way, I talked to him at the RNC. He loves that you love that.
Oh, does
he? He loves that we ran with that. I go, you know the thing you said in the deposition? He's like, oh yeah, you're an asshole. I was like, yeah, we love it.
Yes,
You're an asshole.
It looked like it went with the commercial.
All right, let's go really quickly into before we get
Oh,
into
my dog pillow. What the hell is that?
Did I miss anything with Russiagate? Of course, we're just providing some pregame here.
Yes.
Russiagate. No, let's get into Donald Trump here really quickly. Let's get into the polls and what's happening, what we predict for tonight. Look, hold on a second. I have to go through my notes because I have all of these notes here. All right, Gerald, help me out. One
Notes?
second.
Polling.
Okay.
Nate Silver, chance of winning.
So we talked about this last time we were broadcasting. I believe at night was the DNC convention. There are conventions, there are town halls, there are debates. Of course, Kamala Harris has been trying to change the terms of the debates. This is really interesting, and all the references are available at louderwithcrowder.com. I'll put the link in the description. She had a bounce when she was announced, when she was undemocratically installed, Kamala Harris. Okay,
Who?
the announcement. And then we covered that there wasn't really the convention bounce that you see traditionally. And by that, I mean none. The only thing that has changed since then is Kamala, for the first time, has given her sole interview. It was 18 minutes. To be fair, they released, I believe, 27 minutes online.
Online with the transcript.
Okay.
for it. Yeah.
And the odds have changed dramatically in Donald Trump's favor since then. Before we get into the numbers, and these numbers are pretty shocking, maybe for people out there who've been defeatists, which is why I don't encourage you to watch this if you go out and tell people that there's no chance at winning. Thanks, Eeyore. This has got to be a personal hell for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Because she's going, okay, the only thing I can do to fix the sinking polls right now, the only thing I can do to help my chances is speak. Oh, no, I can't do that because no one likes it when I speak because I'm intensely unlikable and I'm also fundamentally dishonest. The more she speaks, and we've been telling you this, the more people see her, the worse off she is. That's a tough place to be. Let me give you some new polling data. So Nate Silver, and I know leftists are going to say, we don't like him now because he's been somewhat fair toward Trump, has now put Donald Trump's odds at winning at 58% to Kamala Harris at 41%. Okay, August 25th, 3 days post DNC, Harris was at 52, Trump was at 47. All right.
Wow.
Let's look at the poly market odds. They've changed by the hour leading up to this show. This is the betting odds that you might get in Vegas. Trump is at 53 and Kamala is at 46. Right after the DNC, they were neck and neck at 49 and 50. That's the only thing that's changed. What do you think it is? Is that people have seen Kamala Harris herself as opposed to having the media carry her water. There's more interesting data than that. Let's get into specifically, I think, the swing states. The swing states are pretty important. Let's go to Pennsylvania here. And this is where people are saying, hey, could this be the RFK Jr. bump? You guys comment if you think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania is a state where whoever wins it has a 90% chance of winning the election. Doesn't mean you have to win Pennsylvania, but it's super important. Okay. The polls there are within the margin of error. All right. So right now they have Harris at a plus 0.5%. Keep in mind, the same time in 2020, Biden was up by 4.2%. He ended up winning by 1.2. That's important. You can also go back to 2016. Voter registration in Pennsylvania right now. The election last time, Democrats were up by 686,000. Now they're only up by 358,000. That is a big deal, just to be clear. And if you're in Pennsylvania, they may violate their state constitution. Please go out and vote.
Yes.
And make sure you vote in person. Obviously, don't give it to a mail courier who has more mail than. Never mind. I was about to say, we haven't consumed any alcohol yet. It was going to be. This was a really, really dark one.
Oh.
That's why I had the stroke. I was like, I can't say that. Here's something else that's pretty interesting. Michigan, and I've said that Michigan is kind of that evasive state, the very ever elusive. A new Detroit News poll has Trump at 44.7 and Harris at 43.5. That's pretty. And was up by 7%, and he only ended up winning by 4.5, assuming you believe those votes. So Michigan, Pennsylvania are both within the margin of error, and you're seeing states like Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, states that they've said are swing states, pulling away, kind of going to pre-Kamala numbers for Donald Trump when he was facing off against Joe Biden. This doesn't look good for it. Doesn't mean you become complacent. Put your foot on the gas. But hopefully this emboldens you, and we'll see what he does tonight so that you actually go out and start doing your job, because this is absolutely the most important election of our lifetime. And hey, they've tried to kill the guy. They've been prosecuting the guy, made up cases. We have some undercover footage tomorrow. It's kind of a big deal. Nothing is real. Nothing is real out there. You have been lied to consistently, and I think this is the year. This is the shift when you look back and say that's when Americans fundamentally lost trust in the institution of media.
Yeah. So, and one of the things that we told you guys to do is just wait this kind of wave out. She just got named as the candidate. We knew there was going to be a wave. There was going to be this kind of false enthusiasm. Then you were going to go into the DNCs, false enthusiasm again, even though we kind of overshot that. Initially, we thought that would give her a little bit more of a bump. It never materialized. Now you're going into a debate. She had to do her first quasi interview with the softest softball interview I've ever seen. And people don't like what they hear. She's put policies out. People don't like what they hear. She's gone back on stuff. We'll do some flip-flop stuff later on where we tell you all about that. If Donald Trump just shows up and has a net neutral debate, Kamala Harris will be less likable after next Tuesday than she is today.
Big time.
I don't know, because he did so well against Biden. It's a tough act to follow. You can't outperform
She's so
that.
unlikable. She's so
Yeah, that's the
unlikable. You
best,
just have to make sure you don't.
Why? Because she's a woman?
No.
Because she's Indian?
No.
Because she's black?
No.
Because she's a whore?
Maybe.
Doesn't help.
Wow, Gerald.
Doesn't help.
I said maybe. I
doesn't
don't know.
Yeah, you do know. We all know.
I'm not in the minds of the
I
voter.
think half of San Francisco knows him, right?
Try 3/4.
Yeah, probably Oakland too. Hey, look, they're talking about Stelter. Look at the
Did you
picture
see
they
what
pick
the
on Fox
headline
News.
was?
I'll be appearing on air, developing digital content, and helming the newsletter, then eating it.
Nice.
With my super hot wife.
Which brings us really quickly to this could come down. Of course, people will say the swing states, but it could just come down to Pennsylvania or Michigan. There's a way to win for either candidate if you win Michigan and Wisconsin. There certainly is for Donald Trump, depending on how those other states shape up. In RFK Jr., people were saying, hey, there's been no bump, there's been no change here, but that's not necessarily true, because people didn't wait until the post-DNC convention, seeing that Kamala didn't have a bump, and they didn't expect RFK, I think, to come out with a full-throated endorsement of Donald Trump.
Full-throated.
We are looking, what did I say?
You said full-throated.
You said full-throated, but that's the right word. They used it.
Just, you know.
What, I said the wrong word?
He just always his throat.
Oh, I thought I said something wrong.
It's just a personal trigger for Gerald here.
I don't appreciate the pun. I hope that Elon Musk gives him the brain chip implant.
Yes.
And then he starts.
brother up, Elon. You got Neuralink. Can
Neuralink,
you fix the
that's what it's
voice?
called, yeah.
Let's do this.
And then he sounds like Mr. French or Peter
Or he's like
Sellers.
British or something.
Like, ooh, I don't support the military-industrial complex.
Make America healthy again.
Yes. The good thing I have this implant. It could come down to the swing states, and I'm telling you this, RFK Jr. Certainly had an impact, and Kamala Harris may be screwed.
Tonight, I'm very pleased to welcome a man who has been an incredible champion for so many of these values that we all share, and we've shared them for a long time. He's a very low-key person, but he's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long. For the past 16 months, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
They act like he's a ghost, like he isn't there. He's just a decent guy, smear stories they stir. They froze him out, their knives are long, and now it's time to watch their tears fall. Did you think he'd take that slide, lying down? Do you really think Oswald acted alone? They're so fucking screwed. Swing states to the stables of Trump. We'll crush, can't rig it up. They teamed up to finally make America great again. CIA and FBI, whose side are they on? Sweet vengeance will arise from a Kennedy wrong. Sleepy Joe was old, what a lie they sold. Kamala's joy is about to run out. Did you think that Trump would die. His energy grows. Now you know what it feels like being bold. The map will have no blue. Swing, swing states to the stables of Trump. So we'll crush, can't rig it up. Big team up to finally make America great again.
The government that can silence its opponents has license for any kind of atrocity. Can you think of any time the people who were censoring were the good guys? They're always the bad guys.
270. You thought old Bobby was gone. 270. They're done. Election day. Swing states to the stables of Trump. So team up to finally make America great. Swing states to the stables of Trump. So we'll crush, can't rig it up. Big team up to finally make America great again.
Well, that was
Nice
an abrupt stop.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the fade out.
What is this, MTV? They got commercials coming up? They got
Toolman was counting me in. I thought it'd be like a fade, you know.
Can you imagine a concert like that?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
I feel like that's what happens when the Stones go out and play. It's like, we're done now.
Gonna leave.
I've got drugs to do.
They slowly walk
a
up.
little bit. They're hitting now.
Not gonna leave any tips.
I know that's not at all. That's not at all. I'm doing Ringo as the Stones. I have no idea what. Ringo probably does it too.
Generic.
What do we think there'll be? I wanted to talk about Russia again today because Russiagate has come back, but we can probably talk about it Friday.
Yeah.
They're trying to say that Russia is pushing disinformation again to try and get Donald Trump elected. That's the claim. Of course, it's not true. You guys may have remembered what happened last time, but there are unfortunately some bad actors who have been pushing Russian disinformation. I don't know that we have that much time to get into it.
No, but it looks like in that specific case, just let me say, the creators look like they were duped. It seems to be the owners of the company in that particular case that they're going after, that everybody's talking about. Don't let the media tell you otherwise, because even in the indictment itself, it says something to the effect of they were unwitting participants, that they were lied to about the source of the funding, and they never got paid to change views or anything like that, though people will go out and say they did. But the owners of the company, I believe it was Tenet Media, look like they're in a little bit of hot water.
Could be orange jumpsuit time.
Could be.
Unfortunately for them.
Could be.
And I bet you they'll be starting on time tonight because this is a pre-tape.
Yes.
Which is kind of surprising because Donald Trump likes the energy of a live audience.
He does.
He does seem to get that.
Well, the audience is live.
I think the audience,
well, the audience was live, but he likes the energy of it being live without a net, like testing the sensors. Like, and you know, I would never say pushing. Okay.
Wow.
just keeping you on your toes, Sean. I hear you got a third down in your black belt, right?
Check cash.
I think tonight they'll probably be talking. Obviously, our prayers are with the families affected in Georgia. They'll probably be talking about guns that'll be tossed to them. They'll definitely be talking about the economy, probably immigration. Abortion is going to be an issue. We have a montage here for you where Donald Trump has clarified, but the media still wants to obfuscate that issue. They still want to make it as opaque as possible, and I think Donald Trump has an opportunity to correct it. Does it look like they're going live right now?
Looks like they're coming in right now.
All right, they're going live to Hannity. Hey, look, American flag. I bet you he throws a football.
Looks like an NFL logo. I thought they were playing the parody.
No slanted roofs either. So, yeah.
Go ahead, the kid, bring it up a little bit, please. That's a lot of Amish.
Just a minute, former President Donald Trump will join us for an hour. In part, he will answer your questions. Think about this.
Chose that
in
time?
just 13 days.
But wait, what's the other part? The town hall is only answering questions,
Keystone
right?
State. In a few days, just mail-in ballots will go out in other states, and we are only 61 days from what I believe is an inflection point for the country. That's less than 2 months away, and that's the 2024 election. The race, according to polls, is close in 7 states. The latest Trafalgar poll has Donald Trump up by 2 in this state of Pennsylvania.
Trafalgar.
This is one thing that Sean Hannity does that we try to. This is why all of our sources, we try and give you left-leaning sources. That's why we sourced Nate Silver, RCP averages. The Trafalgar Group is known to be more right-leaning.
Yeah.
Are they more accurate than ABC News? Yes. The New York Post, New York Times, CNN, I believe, is the merger there. Yes. But to simply cite them gives ammo to the left. Try not to do that. Try to use their own sources against them. Sean Hannity doesn't do that, but we know that.
Finally appears to be over. Our one and only interview was a whopping 16 minutes and 30 seconds of talk time. I've done a lot of interviews with Donald Trump. I promise you, not one has gone under an hour. She has yet to hold a single formal press conference in 45 days.
It takes you that long to get undressed, Sean.
She won't even take unscripted questions from voters at a town hall. Later on, we will be taking questions from this audience. Reporters on the tarmac, that was yesterday. The truth is she doesn't have a good answer for her radical beliefs or sudden flipping and flopping and flailing or...
Well, see, and this is kind of the issue that you see with media where they will say CNN is unbiased because they don't do a lead in like this and the lies are by omission. At least Sean Hannity lets you know where he's lining up. Like this is not going to be an objective town hall or interview, and that's okay. He's right-leaning. Donald Trump goes into enemy territory all the time. He deserves a softball, and I don't necessarily know that it'll be a softball, but he deserves a platform to correct the record. But the left will say, "See, Fox News can't be trusted," then direct you to CNN, where Brian Stelter has a job again. So that's fun.
I mean, might as
Welcome to a very packed.
I like it too much.
Now, for if you don't know, we're live right now.
Food, clothing, insurance, gas, everything was more affordable. Interest rates were at record lows. The world was a more peaceful place. The border of our
Is it just me, or would this whole town hall be better served with Sean Hannity asking questions so that Donald Trump could say that?
Yes. Okay. Be better.
4 years under Joe Biden.
Yes, but he says it very quickly and succinctly. And
oh, by the way, drinking game rules. Bring them up one more time because we just hit one. Sean Hannity is talking too much.
Oh, come on.
Drink anytime Donald Trump uses a nickname. Anytime Hannity talks too much. Anytime Trump or Hannity or the audience laugh.
We've got it.
Anytime Donald Trump calls out the fake news media, and you finish your drink anytime someone mentions Kamala Harris refusing to debate. So that's at least 3 sips because Sean Hannity talked a long time. Here is the President of the United States.
oh, that's a finisher beer, right?
There we go.
Along with the louder and the team.
Well, he did mention Kamala not debating. That would be a finisher beer.
Well, people, I did.
I'll ignore it.
I'll drink.
I always think politicians are funny when they come out. Not like Tim Walz funny, like faking it, but Donald Trump goes, "Whoa,
Harrisburg! I thought all you did was churn butter. You do more than that. You love Trump. You love butter and Trump.
It's really good of you."
I didn't know you had so many outlets in Harrisburg with all the Amish. Witness! All right.
Just noticing weird things. Who's tractor?
Sean, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Grab a seat.
Okay.
Get comfortable.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, David.
What an American flag in tractor.
Does Sean Hannity have tractors behind? Are those lawnmowers?
Those are not lawnmowers. Those are like multi.
Okay.
They can do mowing and they can do some front end loader stuff. With PTO in the back.
I mentioned we had this terrible shooting in Georgia. Right. Our prayers are with our friends
First
in
thing,
Georgia. And I've been doing town halls and interviews in public with you for all these years since you got into the political arena. And I told this audience, never before have restrictions been so tight. Obviously, after the assassination attempt as well. And Director Ray said the threat level has never been this bad. He said it 5 consecutive times.
Sean
before
Hannity
Congress.
talking too much.
What
Drink.
is going on?
Well, it's a sick and angry world for a lot of reasons. And we're going to make it better. We're going to heal our world. We're going to get rid of all these wars that are starting all over the place because of incompetent American leadership. And we're going to make it better. You know, Viktor Orban made a statement. They said, bring Trump back and we won't have any problems. He was...
It's a Hungarian prime minister.
Again, he always says someone else says it.
Yeah.
an election coming up, and actually, you know, they keep saying 60, but it starts in Delaware and North Carolina and other places a lot sooner than that.
In Pennsylvania.
I think we're going to be very well set up to do a great job. And do we love Pennsylvania? Do we love
I'll give him a cheap pop, you know?
He asked the question, they cheered. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
And by the way, for people tuning in, the audio issues are coming from Fox News. They're a little bit muddled.
We're muddy.
Mr. President, let me ask you this. Between
Kennedy's pissed.
I was going to ask a question.
I just have an hour, guys. Come on.
It was a bit of a turd face.
Kennedy's not talking enough. Drink.
This is a very tough interview.
Audience laugh, drink.
We did great in 2016. We did
He's not
much
gonna
better
talk
in
again for 5
2020. We
minutes.
got millions of more votes. But there has never been enthusiasm like we have now. I mean, I see it all over. There's never been anything. And I hear the polls are very close, and we have a little lead.
Is that Russ Henneman?
I just find it hard to believe because
Yes, he
first
said
of all, they've been so bad. They've done such a bad job, but that's why the enthusiasm is so good because they never had anything to compare it by. You know, I ran and I didn't have anything at all. I just was a successful businessman and we did a good campaign. But the next time we had something, special, we could talk about what we did.
It's always tough when you have
But we
friendly
never
heckling.
Could
Yeah.
imagine.
It's
we'd
like,
have
Shut up, people.
I appreciate it, but shut up.
many criminals from all over the world are coming into our country. They're coming from jails, from not
Fact
just
check
South
true,
America,
and we
from
will be
all over,
fact-
coming from prisons. They're allowing prisoners to come out of all countries. That almost 180 countries represented over the last number of months. 180. Most people don't know that we have that many countries. They're emptying out their prisons and jails. They're emptying out their mental institutions and insane asylums. They're emptying out the sickest people, and they're emptying all into the United States. And you said it better than anyone.
History's back.
Terrorists have come into the United States in the last 3 years, and I think probably 50 years. There's never been anything like it. These people are so bad. They're so dangerous. What they've done to our country is they're destroying our country, and we can't let this happen. If they won, you'd have not 20 million, you have 100 million people. You won't have Social Security. You won't have Medicare. You won't have anything already. If you take a look at the numbers, they're filling
Watch,
up
the
and
media is going to
loading up
say that
Social
illegal
Security.
immigrants actually contribute more than they take in taxes, which is not true. We'll go back to it.
Many of them from jails and many of them from very bad places. And we're not going to destroy our country, Sean.
Well, I'm going to
Let me ask you my first question.
Kamala Harris and the comments that she has made about the border. Because I think this is important. I want to play her in her own words about this. You're right. We have people, almost 11 million plus. We don't know how many gotaways there are. We have hundreds of known terrorists that have entered the
Sean
country.
Hannity's
We
talking
don't
too
know
much.
what
Drink.
countries they've come from. We're allowing people in.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. Let me say exactly what you just said, less interestingly.
China, tens and tens of thousands.
He's a
Russia,
nice guy, but just he's talking too
I
much.
don't think they're coming here because they want a better life, as maybe some other people are. And we know nothing about them. We haven't vetted them. I scroll the names often on this show of people that have been murdered, people that have
Do you,
been
Sean?
raped,
Do you
people
scroll?
victims of
You like to
violent
scroll. He
crime.
likes to scroll.
And all this is all
Here's the part where he
happening.
gives you his opinion. Is this my town hall or the Hannity town hall? The Hannity Kung Fu extravaganza.
He's got a Rolodex of names. He just
What
goes
is your
through on the show.
reaction to the? You've spoken to some of the
Well,
families of loved
I said at the beginning, I said, I heard they were going to have open borders. They want open borders. She wants open borders. Now she's all of a sudden saying, "Oh, I think we'll close the borders."
Great
She was
impression.
the borders are, whether you like it or not. But even if you don't want to use that term, she was in charge of the border. It's the worst border in the history of the world, not just here. There's never been a country that allowed 21 million people to come in over a 3-year period. There's never been. And 21 million people, many of whom are from prisons, many of whom are murderers and drug dealers and child traffickers. And by the way, women traffickers. Women trafficking is the biggest, and they're traffickers in women. And they're coming in now, and they're putting them in our Social Security accounts, and they're putting them in our Medicare. And just one
Media
thing.
will say that they'll try and
You
fact
take
check
a
it,
look.
claim that it's not true, because
Take
guess
a
what?
look
You
over
can't
the
trace
last
it when
week. I
someone's
said
illegal.
This was going to happen, and it's happening. Because these people are tougher than our criminals. Our criminals are nice people by comparison. That's the only good thing. We're showing how nice our criminals are. They came from 22 people recently came from the
El
Congo
Chapo
in
looks
Africa.
like a great big pussy.
Prison. What did you
I know
do? We refused
he's
to stay.
Mexican, but close enough.
We're letting everybody in. We're letting everybody in. Take a look at Aurora in Colorado, where Venezuelans are taking over the whole town. They're taking over buildings, the whole town. And the sheriff, who can blame
Where are
them?
the Wolverines?
They have AK-47s. You saw it the other day. They're knocking down doors and occupying apartments of people. The people are petrified, and it's getting worse and worse. You look at New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and now you look at all over the place. You take a look at Iowa, Idaho, places that never had the problem. They're pouring in. 21 million people, that's bigger than New York. And we have to stop it. And we have to do the largest.
By the way, we may have some Mug Club undercover footage. Oh, the audience laughs. Drink.
Nice.
We may have some Mug Club undercover footage from some of these Venezuelan gangs. And tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, he's going to be quoting it at the next debate or town hall. I would be willing to bet, because it has
How many
quite a bit to do with.
Americans are truly familiar with her
I can't speak.
positions of decriminalizing illegal immigration and free housing, healthcare, education. Tim Walz wants free college education, legal driver's licenses.
And his family doesn't want him.
His brother endorsed me.
I was watching Waters before the town hall.
And honestly, it looks very,
There it is.
very nice looking family. But his brother endorsed me, and the whole family endorsed me. I said,
So did Barack Obama's half Kenyan brother. Remember that?
Yeah.
there's something
And the chef.
Hated Barack.
weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. JD is not weird. He's a solid rock. I happen to be a very solid rock. We're not weird. We're other things, perhaps, but we're not weird. He is a
Hey,
weird
deprecating.
guy.
I love
He
it.
looks
There
on
were
the
other
stage
things.
and
Audience
something
laughed.
wrong with
You
that
laughed.
guy. And he
They
called
left him in drink.
And then the fake news media picks it up. That was the word of the
Fake news media drink.
Hey.
That was a hat trick. Hit the ding there, Billy. Billy the Kid. The drinking game rules. Anytime Trump uses a nickname, anytime Hannity talks too much, anytime the audience laughs, anytime Trump calls all the fake news media, finish your drink, anytime they mention Kamala Harris refusing to debate. Wow.
This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've
She's
been to the
white.
border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
You support giving universal health care, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health.
And the
Fact check,
We have to
sanctuary
have
cities
a secure
put legal
border,
immigrants
but
at
I am in
risk.
favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct. The border is secure. Listen, I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing. And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
So, and
This
now
crowd,
she
man.
wants to offer a path to citizenship, which by any definition would be amnesty. Your reaction?
But, well, before you even start with that, of course it's ridiculous. You can't do it. No country could sustain this, but she wants no fracking in Pennsylvania. She wants no fracking.
Media will fact check and say that she now said she would support fracking, even though she said she wouldn't.
There will be no fracking. There will be no fracking. There will be no fracking. Then just recently she said, yes, I could approve fracking. Look, this is...
His impression's so
This
good.
is a woman
Better than yours.
who is dangerous. I don't think too smart, but let's see. But she loses her train of thought a lot. She goes, that's why she doesn't want to do interviews. Can you imagine her doing an interview like this or like any of them? I mean,
That's
she did
close
an
to some
interview-
defense. Yeah, it's not quite.
She did an interview with Dana Bash on CNN. And, you know, I have to tell you, Dana Bash did the debate with Joe Biden with.
Joe Biden.
I used to call him Fake Tapper, but I don't do that anymore. You know
Nickname.
why? Because
Nickname Drake just did. I'm out.
And I thought that she would give a fair interview based on the debate because she was fair. I was surprised, to be honest with you. I didn't expect that, but she was fair. I thought I did well. I don't think he did too well. A friend of mine said, you should have done the interview.
Yeah.
He's not going to make it. And you know what? He
All right,
didn't
refill.
make it.
Bring up the drinking game rules for people who don't know really quickly.
It's very unfair in a lot of ways. I complain about it, but she ran against him in the primary. She got no votes, and she was the first to leave. 22 people or something like that. And she dropped. She was down to nothing. Never even made Iowa, and he got 14 million votes, and they threw him out. They said, "We want you out." And he wasn't going to win, I don't think. I mean, I don't think he was going to win, but we did a good debate. We had a good debate, and it was a fair debate. And he was down like 18 or 19 points after the debate. And I hate mosquitoes. I'm surprised. I didn't think we had.
I wonder what the hand thing was.
Mosquitoes running around. We want
Audience
nothing to
laugh,
do
Drake,
with
but we
them.
need a refill.
And we want nothing to do with bad politicians that hate our country, too. You want to know that?
What a nice segue. Good segues are better than Jared.
They're worse than the West Nile, some people say. Zika.
And it was really a coup when you think about it. And the woman who came in, the person that came in last, I mean, she came in last. She was the first one out of all those people. You had many people that did pretty well. It was actually close at the end. And then in South Carolina.
I think he could do well to laser in on points a little bit better, make his point with a fact, substantiate it, and then step out.
Joe Biden and her.
It's going to be tough for the media to take victorious sound bites from this.
They're watching right now. But anybody in New Hampshire that votes for Biden and Kamala, I really think I call her a comrade Kamala.
Oh, now it is. Nickname drink.
Love it. But you know that she did something after decades and decades and decades. It was Iowa, the first two, Iowa, New Hampshire. And that's Hampshire. He didn't want to play the New Hampshire game. And so he went to a different state. We won't mention. It's a great state. I won it by a lot. I love that state. But he dumped New Hampshire. And I said to people today, who the hell from New Hampshire would vote for this guy? He changed the whole primary system. He changed the whole system because he took them out of the order. And I think it's going to have a big effect. We really want to win New Hampshire. I've done well there, and we really want to win New Hampshire.
New Hampshire? Name that movie line.
Just as a reminder, Kamala Harris refused to debate Trump tonight. That's why this is a town hall and debate.
So everybody's fully aware is that tonight Fox offered a debate opportunity between you and Kamala Harris, and I was not going to be here, but it was going to be Brett and Martha.
This was supposed to be a debate.
Right. So
I would have preferred.
It's almost like I knew that was coming.
But I would have preferred a debate.
Thanks a lot.
All right, this is a finish your drink, but I can't because I just got a new one. I just mentioned Kamala ducking the debate.
Finish.
You finish. I'll sit.
Is the issue.
You're at home. We're not.
Now, in that, I thought it was a horrible interview and a missed opportunity. Do you know, for 16 minutes, she spoke for 16 minutes and 29 seconds. And that whole interview, the only interview, you and J.D. Vance have done, this is your 36th interview or press conference between the two of you.
Jeez.
Oh.
We don't know if
Tim Walz slept with a horse. Don't know if you know that. Consummated with a stallion.
We don't know if she stands by that. We don't know if she supports Medicare for all.
You heard of the horse whisperer. He's the horse moaner.
So did Kamala. Call Willie Brown a stud.
In the CNN interview, she said, well, I said in 2020 that, I would not ban fracking. CNN had to fact check her and say, no, she never said it. This is what she really said.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in
they're playing all our
office,
clips.
adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again, worked on that.
Fact check. She meant to say that she was worked on an oil rig. They ran a train.
A guy named Rick.
Isn't energy, fracking, oil, the lifeblood of the world's economy?
So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania cannot even take a chance because that's the real opinion from her. Now, the whole country would go down the tubes if you didn't do the fossil fuel thing. It just would go. And you can do all sorts of other things. But, you know, Germany tried it and it lasted for about 9 months and they were going to go down the tubes entirely. And somebody else came in and I hate to say they're building a coal plant every single week, every week. And
Fact check true. Germany tried to move to renewable resources. They had brownouts as opposed to France, who used nuclear primarily, and they had an energy surplus. And now France is moving towards renewables, despite the fact that there are zero carbon emissions from nuclear energy. And of course, they're having the same problems as Germany. So France was a success story. Germany was a cautionary tale. We'll fact check that after.
If she won, you're not going to have
Or
any
fact
fracking in
substantiate.
Pennsylvania. You have 500,000 jobs. Think of that. It's your biggest business. And you get a big majority of your income from fracking. And you have somebody that's not going to allow fracking. She's not going to allow it. You can't take the chance. You have no choice. You've got to vote for me. You've got to.
Audience left. Drink. I don't know if we can bring the drinking game rules on the bottom quarter and reverse it, but I need to stop making the drinking game rules myself.
That was way too easy.
Too effective.
You know the media is going to fact check that. Oh no, they've done more leases than ever, and she said she wouldn't ban it.
This is very effective. Hold her to her initial position.
Yes.
Before she was installed. Do that, you win these states. Good strategy.
Business for Pennsylvania. And you can't take a chance. She will not allow fracking. She's not going to, and she's got a lot of other problems too. But for your particular
Willie Brown, looking at you.
You have no choice, if I may, but to allow it.
He stood up.
16 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hannity I love how Hannity clearly planned that, and he's standing up. Like, I'm going to stand up. It's going to be a good line.
Everyone shut up, though. They did. I'm out, by the way. I want to drink, but I'm out.
That interview, she had notes. That means
I
she
finished
knew
my
the
drink?
questions.
Again? I had
She
to.
had notes. She kept looking down, up. Look, nobody wants to cover it. I know all about notes. I mean, you know, it's all right if people know that, but she wasn't supposed to have notes. So she's asked a question. She looks down. She keeps on. She had notes. That means she knew that. She
Well, I
knew
got a
what was
question about
happening.
that.
She checked her notes on the first question, guys.
When they said that they wanted to change the rules that they had agreed to, did they ask for notes? Did they ask for the?
They wanted notes.
They wanted to be seated, and they wanted your mic.
They wanted a desk. They didn't want to do. I said, you got to do a stand.
After they already agreed.
Yeah, but they wanted a desk from the beginning.
I'm a stand-up. I'm not an improv.
Sleepy Joe, he wanted it.
All right, we got to take a break. More with President Trump. We are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
You know what, really quickly, just so we don't miss it, we are going to take a break really quickly so we can get together all of these, not fact checks, but fact substantiations. The media, of course, is fact checking Donald Trump right now. Guarantee you they'll be wrong about all of it. He's been pretty much right. I'd like to see him laser in on some points a little bit better. I'd like to see him go to the quickest path to victory right on the outset, answer it definitively, boom, stick the landing, and then use it to sort of redirect to issues that he would like to discuss. Really quickly, before we do that, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, Mug Club Undercover. Nothing that you have been led to believe is real. Everything is fake. And you want to talk about lawfare? Tomorrow is the kind of bombshell that changes how you view this country and our institutions. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll be here to take your chats live after you watch the piece. Let's grab a quick break and come right back.
I'm Al Capone, see? You might recognize me from the papers or the moving pictures, or as that guy that visits your mom when your dad's working at the packing plant. You might even know me from my totally legitimate business ventures. But what you might not know is how much work goes into building an empire like this. It took a lot of work, you know, paying out the coppers, moving all that hooch, and sometimes pushing out the competition. My one mistake was failing to pay my taxes and failing to get a guy with a lot of vowels or a precious metal in his last name to keep my books. This Valentine's date could have been a write-off. Don't make my mistakes. Call Tax Network USA today and tell them Scarface sent you. God, motherfucker! Go to tnusa.com/Crowder and let them take care of business by taking care of your business.
And now for Barely Legal with Bill Richmond, sponsored by Mug Club.
Hi,
I'm half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond for Louder with Crowder, here with some education and tips on the terms we use in the legal world. Our question today comes from Dan McGovern in that hellhole known as East St. Louis, Illinois. Dan's question is, what is the deal with the court names like Supreme Court, Circuit Court, District Court, and Justice Court? And who in the shit is in charge of who gets to be a judge in each one of those? Well, Dan, we're going to split this one up into two parts and deal first with the courts themselves. Most of you have heard about a Supreme Court, which is the final appellate courts in both our federal and state systems. At the very top in the federal system, above all the courts, is the United States Supreme Court. You can end up here whether you start in a state court or a federal court. It is the true court of last resort for judicial relief. Now, secondly, most states also have a Supreme Court that is the highest court.
Stay tuned for more Barely Legal with half-Asian lawyer Bill Richmond.
Hey, boo, Pedro, not today. You're not sending your best. I'm going to send you right back. Looking over that. Well, let's keep building this wall. There you go, brick by brick. My wall, frankly, shoots fire, you see? And you're going to pay for it. It's Trump! Hey, guys, in the chat, let me know what you'd like me to put in my moat. I'm thinking alligators and spikes.
All right, glad to be back with you. Of course, it is the hashtag Trump Town Hall. They're going to come back right here on Fox News. Do not let tax issues take you over and ruin your life, because we all know that with 80,000 new employees, not agents, media fact check, it can destroy your life in a flash. TNUSA.com/Crowder. Go there, and or you can call 1-800-245-6000. Anything you can do to just grind the IRS's gears is a good thing, because they suck and they're evil.
Yeah, and there's lots of things out there, lots of programs, lots of ways you can get around stuff.
Yep. But they're legal. They're illegal, to be clear. Hey, I thought it was Ross Geller. It's Jesse Waters.
No, come on.
And Gary Sinise, who's been on the show many times, I will tell you this: the nicest human being alive. Like, also, I don't know if that guy actually has the capability to be mean. He has basically devoted his entire life to helping disabled veterans. And if you look at the amount of, or the percentage from his charity that actually goes to those in need, it's not like Bono with his one foundation for AIDS, where less than 1% went to people with AIDS.
That's why it's named one.
Yeah. And the rest went to his Los Angeles offices with, an asymmetrical modern Art Deco chair.
Oh, nice.
I never saw anybody's name coming to Afghanistan more than Gary Sinise.
Gary Sinise, yeah.
Gary Sinise is gonna be like, he was just here. Did he get a house here?
And the reason he hasn't been on the show more is hey, I'd love for you to talk about it. He goes, I don't really want to go out there and take credit for it and advertise in the limelight. Like, he really wants to do good and do it privately. Just telling you, friend and a really, really good guy.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Dude, fun band too. He's got a band.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan Band. Yeah. Yep, they do a lot of tours with the US. So yes, Jerry.
So I wanted to say, I think you're right now with Donald Trump's responses. If you only played
do it full screen, and then I want to hear from you, because you're brilliant, but not really. Anytime Trump uses a nickname, drink. Anytime Hannity talks too much, drink. And we'll have to be conservative with that, because he always talks too much. Anytime Trump, Hannity, or the audience laugh, drink. Anytime Trump calls out the fake news media, drink. And you finish your drink anytime someone mentions Kamala refusing to debate or something similar, like refusing to acknowledge the media. Okay, really quickly, Joe, because you have 4 seconds.
I can't do it with 4 seconds. 4 seconds is enough. Go to this. It's already on.
Radical Islamic terrorism, which ignores how Muslims have overwhelmingly been the greatest victims of terror.
Here's the thing. That is true that Muslims have been the victim of terror overwhelmingly.
From who?
From radical Islamic terrorists. Exactly. That's right. We have a veteran here. By the way, thank you for your service. But I mean that in a way that he's like Gary Sinise. He doesn't like to be thanked for service because he do it quiet. Probably killed some people. I don't come to it.
No, it's not.
But Josh has served the country, and none of so.
Undocumented immigrant is not criminal.
By the way, want to give we have an
and the rapist is just a prostitute doing cartwheels.
The Republican challenger to a 98.6% Joe Biden, Kamala Harris voting supporter. Dave McCormick is running against Senator Casey in what is a very important race.
Wonderful underbite.
I don't know him.
Could crack a walnut.
They gave him a mic.
Now, you just heard Kamala Harris, our country's failed borders are, talking about her commitment.
They're
You
asking
need
him a
courage
question?
to never say
think
the
I
word
know the
radical
woman next
Islamic
to them, but I won't.
terrorism or illegal alien. President Trump.
No,
is
not
back with us.
personally.
What
I don't
is your
mean that way.
reaction to that? Because who attacked us on 9/11 and who's crossing our border?
So she wants to be politically correct, and we can't be politically correct anymore. Look, we have.
My question to you during this break: do you think this moves the needle? I don't know so much. Appearing on Fox News, not so much. I think his appearances on podcasts have done more work.
Yep.
But comment below.
Israel and with the Middle East is blowing up. It's blowing up. We have Ukraine and Russia. That would never happen. That would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. If I were the president, it would have never happened, and everybody knew it. Iran was broke. They didn't have the money for Hamas and for Hezbollah. They didn't have the money for anybody. They wanted to
Fact
get
check
by.
true. The Iranian government said that Donald Trump cost them $1 trillion with their sanctions.
But you know, I wanted to say it so much during my term. We went 4 years without any blow-ups. We had no World Trade Center blow-up.
Media's going to fact check this and say, what about Yemen? They can go screw themselves with a wire brush.
What about when you beat ISIS?
Islamic because we were very tough at the borders and we were very tough with our statements, and we had the whole world was a safe place. That was the question they asked Viktor Orban, who's really considered a very strong. They said he's a strong man. Sometimes you need a strong man. He's a strong man. He's the prime minister of Hungary. And he said, you bring back Trump, everybody. Now, I'm not saying it, but he said it because I'd rather say respect. But he said, everybody was afraid of Trump. You bring him back, you're not going to have any problems. The world.
The reason I met Josh when I was doing, this is something I've been doing for years. You can go back to 2015 saying Trump would always say, other people say this. I would never say this, but they say, he's so strong. I say, no, I'm not. They say you're the best. I say, I'm okay.
Yeah, that and excuse me.
Excuse me.
This is not a prediction because it's so bad. I don't want it to be a prediction. We're heading into World War III territory. And because of the power of weapons, nuclear weapons in particular, but other weapons also, and I know the weapons better than anybody because I'm the one that bought them and we rebuilt our entire military. We upgraded our entire program. And the one program I hated to upgrade, hated it, was the nuclear program. And I understand it maybe better than anybody. My uncle was at MIT, a professor, the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, very smart guy. We have
In
a
fact,
smart family.
check this
As I said,
opinion
a smart
throughout
family.
history with Donald Trump also.
I understood nuclear for a long time. The power of nuclear weapons. You need a president that's not going to be taking you into war. We won't have World War III when I'm elected, but with these clowns that you have in there, you're going to end up having World War III, and it's going to be a war like no other.
Let me ask you a more personal question.
Kind of like World War II, but worse.
Very big price for getting into the political arena. Never mind opportunity costs that you would have had. You've had a successful business. Obviously, you've been a victim of lawfare, if you will, or a weaponized Department of Justice. Although the Supreme
Lawfare,
Court
you
ruling
say?
on immunity, I think, was
Tomorrow,
very clear.
10 a.m. Eastern, we'll get to lawfare. Hidden camera investigation from Mug Club Undercover, the likes of which you have never seen.
I listened to you talk about
Election interference, we will remove all doubt. Lawfare is one of the biggest components at play. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, your funding doesn't go to Russian propaganda. It goes directly to Mug Club and these investigations and The Daily Show, 10 a.m. Eastern.
And Hannity's still talking.
Hannity's still talking. Drink.
Forgotten woman. What is 2024 about?
So it's not that different. It's still about the forgotten man and the forgotten woman. The people are being treated horribly in this country. We're a country that's being laughed at all over the world. And I'll be honest, if Joe Biden would be a great president, I would be happier than being the worst president in the history of our country, because I want to see what's good for the country. And I would have been very happy. I have very nice places I could be. This is not easy. I got shot at, I mean, I got
Drink. He made the audience laugh. You bring up the drinking game rules again. By the way, made the audience laugh at an assassination attempt. That's pretty good. That's a good job.
Again, that's what we have to do.
It makes me think that if you look at everything that we discussed tonight, and you look at your platform. Thank you.
Oh, the
By the
Trump
way,
doesn't tell him to shut up.
Orban called him the man of peace.
I'm straightforward. I'm a member of the press, but I'm a talk show host. I'm a conservative, and people know where I stand. I think the press, they're all liberal talk show hosts, but they're dishonest about who they are.
Like we said.
And they have an agenda. They've never played Kamala in her own words. Her radical statements, her extreme statements, I think dangerous statements. And I just think that if we're talking about the border, all of these 11 million, it was all preventable. I think on the economy, if you had sound economic policy, you handed off 1.4% inflation, we'd be doing better in the economy. We'd be energy dominant by now because we were on a path towards energy dominance. We wouldn't have to, Iran was in check. You had them on the verge of bankruptcy. Russia, you had a relationship.
Sean
with them
Hannity's
and
talking too much.
North
Drink.
Korea.
This undercuts him. Sean, give him the floor. Let him make the argument.
The biggest pipeline in the world that Russia was building was called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of it. And I
He just interrupted Donald Trump like, Nord Stream, I'm familiar.
I know.
No one cares.
Doesn't need your help.
Billions of dollars protecting Europe, and you guys are going to be buying oil from the person and the group that we're protecting you from. And I shut it down. It was 100% shut down. And then this pathetic person comes in, and he immediately approves it. But he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, our pipeline. And the head of that union, by the way, the pipe fitters union, the pipeline union, the head of that union.
Not the pipe layers who endorsed Kamala.
It was a big deal in the Biden campaign, and he endorsed him. And those people, 48,000 people lost their jobs. It was all approved. I got it approved. Obama rejected it. I approved it. It was starting. They spent billions of dollars. It was also
It's not a note. It was just
and they
getting
rejected. It
even.
would have been fantastic for us, including the 48,000 jobs. And what he did is he let Russia build the pipeline that I had stopped. It was totally stopped. Going to Germany and other countries. Think of it. We protect them from Russia, and yet they pay Russia billions of dollars. Does it make sense? So I was the toughest on Russia. Putin would even say, if you're not the toughest guy, you're killing us. I'd hate to see you if you were really tough.
I hope that by the time he
This was
gets to
the
debates,
biggest
he
job they've
kind of
ever had.
gets a little better at distilling. Like,
He protected Russia's pipeline, shut down ours. I'm going to open ours and take out Russia's.
something like that.
Paid us hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs under me. Under no other president, and I mean right from the beginning, did they pay 10 cents.
We're going to get to audience questions. I do have a question as we go to break.
What's that sound?
I think this should be a
Somebody
question
whistling.
asked in every presidential election, and I'll ask the people here in Harrisburg, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Okay, when we come back, more former President Trump. We're in Harrisburg, PA, as we continue.
All right. So I apologize for the drinking game rules. I will make them less effective moving forward. I didn't
Come on.
expect Sean Hannity to love the sound of his voice this much. But I believe we do have some fact checks here during the
Well, no,
break.
what I'm saying, we have some fact checks. Some obviously, like I'd like to read a couple of the quotes that we came in. But really, I wanted to make sure that we stayed with everybody here because I know that people, when we go to break, sometimes they think we're gone away from it for just a little bit. So I want to stay with it. Let me go back to the Viktor Orban quote, and then I've just got a reminder on the terrorists coming over the southern border. He is the man of peace. So that's the thing that I wanted to fit in without interrupting too much. But the rest of the quote is, under his 4-year term, he did not initiate a single war, did a lot in order to create peace in old conflicts in very complicated areas of the world.
Good old Orban. I would never say that about myself, but that's what he called me.
Right. And guys like Putin, when
Mr. Peace.
How dare you? When he talks about Putin and when he talks about Xi Jinping, when he talks about these world leaders that maybe, we don't necessarily like, obviously, Russia, China, we don't like them. We think that they're bad people. He understands that to have some kind of effective relationship, you have to be on somewhat good speaking terms at least. Maybe you don't like the person, but you understand that they are smart.
This is the man who he was the first person, sorry to cut you off, but crossed over into the border in North Korea, right? They said, the media said, this is the first man to do it. He crossed over into the border to call Kim Jong-un fat. Looks great. Everyone looks slim. People would say that about you. You look slim. I would never say that because you might take it the wrong way. But people saying you look very trim, you look very healthy. Kim Jong-un, best haircut I've ever seen.
You know what was
You're
really
eating
funny?
too much rice.
What was really funny is he says it, and then Kim Jong-un looks over, and you hear the translation come through, and he goes,
What?
Oh, shit.
What did he just say about
Oh, fat me.
Tag me.
It's like
Okay,
his-
we've got
his
that
face-
clip. Let's
All right, let's watch it.
Yeah.
Volume.
Getting a good picture, everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
He's talking about me.
He's a pufferfish cut.
I look friend.
Hey, that cameraman needs a promotion
Yeah,
or,
that's
or a
awesome.
raise
Zoomed in on him like,
or
"Oh,
something.
So he says he builds up his opponent to say, hey, look, he tries to feed their ego in order to try and quell some, global conflict, but he's still willing to actually go in and take care of business. Look, I'm not saying that there's never a reason for war, and I think Donald Trump should be prudent to not imply that. But when people say, oh, he's praising Putin, no, he's saying that Putin's not dumb. How do you think you become one of the wealthiest people of all time? If you're dumb, like Putin.
Yeah.
How do you think that that you convince people you got 11 holes in one in your first game of golf, like the I think it was Kim Jong-il, right?
Yeah.
There's manipulation at play. I don't understand that. I don't understand why you have to tell people that your opponent is dumb.
Well, dumb or like if you belittle this person in the public, like you understand, like Putin is a strong man. You cannot. He is a very hardened individual to bring Russia to where it is today from the 90s. Like, you've got to be a very difficult man. You can't make him lose face in public and then expect him to do anything with you at the negotiating table.
Right.
It's a very long table.
Or you have to do it. Yeah, yes, it's a very long
Very
table.
long,
We have
yes.
pictures of
Yes.
for some reason, the Russian oligarchs, who, by the way, were giving money to tenant media. For some reason, they love to have very, very long
We'll get into it.
tables, the Russians. But Donald Trump does it once it's too late. He's like, this guy is very strong. Yes, that's true. He's very smart. Yes. And he has a small dick. Wait, no, I already agreed.
I already signed
See, he
3.
does-
No, I have large penis. It's bigger than the rubles.
But he understands the impact of having a relationship with these countries so that you can make sure that these things don't happen. It's funny. Putin didn't walk into Ukraine under his watch.
He also understands that you say that stuff, the people of that country hear that. They don't want to hear you insulting the person that they put in power. They feel stupid and they go, hey,
And
screw
you know that firsthand with what happened, in the Middle East, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
We bungled it a little bit.
And you know what else? Putin won't deny it. When he goes, Russia-Ukraine would have never happened. You never hear Putin go, no, I would have done it anyway. He's never said, he won't say it because he knows it's true. He's going to keep his mouth shut.
In his mind, he's thinking, that's true, because he is a little bit crazy. And we don't know if we do, of course, before this, Crimea under Obama, but you understand, he is a little pussy boy. And then we have Trump, he's crazy, so we say maybe not. Then Biden, who is, how you say in America, retard. So we decide to go to Ukraine. Donald Trump has point.
Yeah, exactly. And he's so entrenched there right now, it'd be very difficult to get him out. Let me go to the pipeline comment he made, Nord Stream versus Keystone. He didn't say Keystone, but that's the pipeline he was referencing.
Yes.
First time he brought this point up, by the way, that I've heard.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah.
Biden actually killed it, right? And he was very good on that.
Killed
right?
Keystone
Biden killed
XL.
Keystone XL,
Yes.
$3.6 to $9.6 billion in economic impact to us. People are like, hey, it's Canadian oil going to a port. It's still going to affect our economy, and it helps put supply on the global market, which brings down prices. Killed 16 to 59,000 jobs with a stroke of a pen. Also made it very unlikely that somebody else was going to go through all of the freaking red tape from the EPA and everybody else to get a pipeline deal, only to see the next president come in and go, no.
Here's the big lie from the environmental lobby, that solar and wind works. It doesn't. It doesn't work at this point in time. I would love if it did. It doesn't work. And of course, Ted Kennedy voted against it because he didn't want it to ruin his view in Cape Cod. So solar, wind, these renewables don't work. Nuclear has no carbon emissions, but of course the left has vilified it. Even Oliver Stone has come around on that. All right. We use fossil fuels. Let's accept that right now we use fossil fuels. Okay. Do you want them coming from places across who hate us, who want to blow us up, who hate who, by the way, even if you're LGBTQ plus friendly, they hate all of those values. They had all of Western values. And by the way, don't follow EPA regulations. Or do you want to use our own? Because we use fossil fuels. Let's go right now. Kamala in a mask.
Spikes seem like they're going to be with
It's
us. for a while.
Shinobi.
We have to address the fact that.
You remember
we gotta deal with the
Shinobi?
fact That folks are paying
stars.
for gas, paying for groceries, and need solutions to it.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries? who
Well, Fox
banned
News
this
really likes to be
devastating
repetitive with their clips.
I'm in favor of banning fracking.
It is true. She supported Bidenomics. That's important. And then she said the economy is not doing well and groceries are too expensive. Well, which is it, sweetheart?
This is
Pumpkin.
all happening in the context of 2 years of a pandemic. That's one of the highest priorities, actually, for the president and for me. That is called Bidenomics.
By the way, have you noticed that Fox News has started using more montages to make their point? And it's like we talk about it one day, the next day it's on Fox News.
Seems derivative.
All right, we continue she's very proud of Bidenomics. In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, that was Kamala Harris touting her pretty radical beliefs on the economy. In her own words, according to Kamala, her values have not changed. We don't know where she stands because she's only done an interview for 16 minutes and 29 seconds spoken.
I think this is a multi-billion-dollar
on the issue of the
network.
economy,
I'm recording the audio in a bathroom.
Just how many of you in this room, and you can all close your eyes so you're
My
not
voice
looking at
sounds
your
nice in the
neighbor,
shower.
have struggled economically in the last number of years?
Shut up, bitch!
Sean Hannity drinking game. He talks too much.
When I started my adult life,
I'm almost out.
I struggled to pay my rent. My job.
Back when I was a contractor.
100 times, working in the service industry and bartending and cooking and washing dishes and construction. Not McDonald's.
Karate.
That was a lie. And
dressed a heckler.
She didn't work at McDonald's. Right?
she did not. Well,
They did laugh. This is fun.
Donald Trump uses the audience. He's friendly with them, and it's a layup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I don't think so, based on what I
Here's my question. She wants to raise corporate taxes. She wants to raise small business taxes, capital gain taxes, estate taxes, the international corporate,
Including
minimum tax.
unrealized capital gains. You should give him that layup instead of listening to your own voice, Sean.
Anymore. And your tax cuts are about to expire in 2025.
It'll
What does
be
this
the
mean for
biggest-
the economy? What does it mean for
He's
everybody
about to
here
talk,
struggling?
Sean.
So I give you
Please,
the
you're not a bad
biggest
guy.
tax
Just stop
in the history of
talking.
our country. If you let them
I can't believe you don't shut up.
That guy's sunburned.
tax cuts expire, which she wants to do. She wants to terminate them. If you do that, you will suffer the biggest tax increase in history. There's never been a tax increase like it. On top of which, she wants to add a lot of tax. This country will end up, and I've said this a lot, and I mean it. This country will end up in a depression if she becomes president, like 1929. This will be a 1929 depression. She has no idea what the hell she's doing.
What if unrealized capital gains taxes were implemented? What
Well,
would
she
that
wants
do?
to do that. This is where you have something, you don't even know what the value is. I tell you what, if that's going to happen, go out and open an appraisal company because you're going to make a fortune. That's about the only group that's going
Yep.
to make
And by
it.
the way, in Texas, specifically Denton County, there was just a corruption scandal regarding housing appraisals to raise property taxes.
And big international corporations, they don't have to stay in the United States. And they will be forced to leave for other countries. They can't afford to do a thing like that. They may have great wealth and no cash, and they're going to have to pay cash. Where are they going to get the cash? If they do that, the unrealized capital gain, it's been talked about for a few years by ultra left Marxists only. Like her father's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist teacher of economics. Can you believe this? But if that happened, this country, and I think forgetting about that particular, she's got a lot of things that are just as bad. If she gets in, I think we will have a depression. 1929 style depression. That's what I think will happen to our country. Already they've set us on a path.
What about price gauging, as she calls it, or gouging?
She's never said price gauging, but sure.
And what if they implement that and then price controls?
Yeah,
that's been tried in
many times.
The former Soviet Union, Venezuela, even in this country in the 70s, it was a disaster.
Yeah, every time it's been tried, no matter over hundreds of years, not just over hundreds of years, price controls, you end up with no product you end up with massive inflation, and you end up with the destruction of a
And how
country.
does this impact? How do high
That was
interest
the best
rates
answer of the
impact-
night, I think.
Yeah.
How does inflation impact everybody that's here?
Well, they can't buy a home. They can't do anything. Your business is stopped up. You can't borrow money.
17,000.
And by the way, I had interest rates at 2%. Now they're 10%, but you can't get the money.
2.25.
Get the money.
Josh is like,
I know that's how low it got because I got it.
10% is right. You know, if you can't get the money, 10% is not the right number. It's got to be much more than that. You can't borrow money to buy a house now.
It really is unbelievable. So we have all of this. Now, let me talk about in 6 days, you will have probably your only opportunity to debate Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I
Trump
go instead
looks and
of,
listens.
George Stephanopoulos' network that I get to moderate the debate.
Yeah, people over 70
I'm
love
a
it.
conservative, and I don't like that idea.
People over 70 loved it.
Is the worst network in terms of fairness. They had a poll where I was 17 points down a couple of days prior to the election. I was 17 points down in Wisconsin. And they do that so people don't vote because, you know, hey, I love Trump, but he's 17 points down. I'm not going to go out and vote. I was 17 points down and I won. And I called the best pollster. I said, why wouldn't they say 5 or 4 or 3? Because at 3, you go and vote. At 17, your people say, I want to vote, but, you know, I'm busy. I have other things to do. Let's go see a movie and we'll watch the results later.
Inside Out 2. They all have personalities with emotions.
Love Deadpool.
But that was what I was presented with.
Probably more like work.
I was presented with ABC George Slopadopoulos. You know,
Drink nickname. Drinking game rules.
Hey, Jinx.
And yet, he's a nasty guy.
You and me. Another beer.
I've had him up to here. But let me tell you.
Laugh.
Let me tell you.
Laugh, drink.
He's a very, very bad
Refill.
kind of a guy. But
Need
I
a
watched
refill.
his
Refill
interview
for Steven.
of
Bring up the
Joe
drinking game rules
Biden.
one more time, cool man.
It was
Frickin'
like
Josh.
the softest interview I've ever seen. It was softer
Josh-
than the
Josh is
CNN interview of Kamala. So, but they're very nasty. And I think a lot of people are going to be watching to see how nasty they are, how unfair they are. I agreed to do it because they wouldn't do any other network. The other thing is her best friend is the head of the network. Her husband's best friend is married to the head of the network.
I didn't know that.
And they're going to get the questions.
Yeah, bring up the names.
I've already heard they're
Mission
gonna get the
Control.
questions
I didn't know that.
in advance.
Not best
They even
friends,
have
but their
Donna
relationships.
Brazile. Remember Donna Brazile? She gave
They look at the questions.
Donna Brazile. She's the real beauty. Donna Brazile.
Audience laughed, and rightfully so. Drink.
The questions. You remember that?
That's it for me.
And she works for ABC, and she's at the round table talking about the debate.
She is the round table.
We're gonna watch very
Lazy
closely.
Susan, that's what they call
I'm
her.
allowed to do. We even have a
Well, that's
closer than
Kamala.
that.
They spin her around, then reach right in.
I'm not sure it's going to help her that much, though. I think you might give her the questions and give her the answers with the questions. I'm not sure it's going to help her.
Audience laughs, drink. But I guess I'll do water. I hope it's not like a toast where it's bad luck.
They're bringing you.
Unlike
They've
Kamala
confirmed.
Harris, our time is actually up. However, we're going to let Dave McCormick ask the first question, and we're going to air that not tonight, but tomorrow night.
He always does this, yeah.
I do.
Our time's up, but you know what? Let's make 2 shows out of it.
Well, they're doing it. Wait, are they doing a second show tomorrow?
More from President Trump as we continue. We are in the all-important state of Pennsylvania in Harrisburg. Thank you for being with us.
Wait, what?
What?
They doing a second show?
Can someone clarify for us? Did they just say they're going to go to the audience and run that tomorrow?
They're going to run the audience stuff tomorrow? Really?
Oh, yeah, because tonight everyone wanted to tune in to hear what Sean Hannity has to say.
Yes.
Well, I love that Trump said that. He's like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen.
You're going to do 2 shows. That's right, because you need twice the ratings, Sean. I understand. It's tough being second.
I love that last response, though, where he was talking about how she won't do stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, because he'll take everything. He'll do everything.
He'll go.
He's like, she wouldn't agree to this network, wouldn't agree to that network. It's the only network she would agree to. He's like, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I know his answers have been pretty good. Like I said, I would like to see him sort of distill it where answer with a phrase to punch it, because unfortunately now with social media, these elections are won by moments, and it makes it tough for someone to cut a moment if it's kind of a run-on sentence.
Yeah.
So if he does that, it's kind of like providing an answer Yes. Allow me to explain. If he just is willing to do that a little bit more, people will go, okay, all right, I heard a definitive answer. Now let me listen. His answers have been pretty on point. I think he's actually made some good points that he probably hasn't made in the past. I think that his answer there on capital gains was pretty good, or unrealized capital gains, or certainly when he talked about price gouging, not gauging, where he said every time it's been tried, not just in the last few years, but in the last several centuries, it's always been a disaster. You have complete shortages, you have rampant inflation, and people can't get anything. That was a very definitive answer. I think the reason for that is because Sean Hannity kind of gave a definitive question, stopped, and let Trump answer. I noticed with Donald Trump, and I hope that the moderators there at CNN are not taking notes. If he asks a bunch of questions and he likes to hear himself talk, meaning Sean Hannity, Trump doesn't know what target. It's kind of like a lion tamer with a three-legged stool. What happens there is the lion, what tames the lion is he doesn't know which one to look at. Just fire it right in there and let him volley it back. That's where Trump is best. But I think he could be a little more effective with that.
To be fair, Hannity was repeating what Trump had just said a few times.
And then repeated saying, and I've always said that too.
So it wasn't necessarily like throwing, but a ton of he was like, all right, let me just repeat all the crap you just said.
Yeah.
And here's a question.
You used to listen to Hannity. And again, we like the guy. We like his politics.
He's a very decent man.
Yeah, very decent man from all accounts. I just don't love the interview style. Like, I let Donald Trump have the floor. Ask a question, get out. Ask a question, get out. Like, he needs to understand that people need to hear from Donald Trump. They don't need to hear Sean Hannity's opinion. I guarantee you, if we ran the tape back, we would probably see around 16 minutes and 30 seconds of Sean Hannity speaking in that hour, including the opening monologue, and less time of Trump speaking. You wouldn't have had to go to a second hour for audience questions.
That's what Trump
Are they going to a second hour tonight? Or are they doing it tomorrow?
It looks like it's tomorrow, but they're looking right now to make sure.
And we will not be able to broadcast this tomorrow because tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, we are dropping a Mug Club Undercover, specifically the kind of information that you'll wish you didn't know about lawfare, and specifically that relates to Donald Trump.
Yeah. The kind of information that could change an election.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. This will probably be the biggest story that we ever cover.
If enough people see it.
Ever.
Right? So
yes, exactly.
It's certainly amongst them.
It. I don't
We do have some other ones coming up between now and election night.
No,
the election
they're
live
huge
stream
stories,
but
but
this one tomorrow directly relates to what they're discussing tonight in lawfare and Donald Trump. And you wonder about election interference. You already know because Mark Zuckerberg apologized for Facebook's election interference with big tech.
Right.
But no one has really had the smoking gun. No one has had the proof as it relates to the DOJ, as it relates to our justice system and it being weaponized against the candidate. Tomorrow, there will be no more doubt. 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to run it here on YouTube. And of course, we'll be taking your chats on Mug Club. Right now, are they done on Fox News?
Yeah, they're done. Whatever they're going to record for the audience questions, it looks like they're going to run on his show tomorrow night.
Okay.
So it looks like they're done with the town hall for this evening. That could have been a debate.
Oh, before we go to CNN, really quickly, CNN is endorsing Donald Trump. I don't know if you know this. Do we have the...
No, she's endorsing...
Oh, wait.
Hold on. Get that! I don't... Oh, that's on you. Okay, good.
Sheesh.
I don't know what that was, but I want it away from me.
Got to dodge the Liz Cheney attack.